All right, everyone. Thank you so much um, for 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 coming out to the SACAC North Carolina State Meeting. I know that it is a very busy time with travel, application deadlines, and everything like that. So we're so grateful to have you all here today. So today, we are going to introduce ourselves and then members of various of SACAC of SACAC committees are going to give lots of great updates for us, and then we'll give some general state updates, and we'll be hosting some optional breakout sessions, and that will be when we are at the end of the meeting today.
Okay, well, I'm going to jump in. Allie and I will introduce ourselves. So, hi, everyone. I'm Meredith High. I'm Associate Director of College Counseling at Charlotte Country Day School, and I am lucky enough to co-chair the North Carolina State and Area Initiatives with Allie, and glad to be here.
And hi, I am Allie Glover, and I am over at the lovely Queen's University of Charlotte in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I am the director of graduate enrollment there. So I'm going to pass it back over to Meredith.
Yeah, we wanted to actually, Allie, well, this is fine, this slide. We wanted to just give a special shout out and thanks to our SACAC state and area initiatives chairs, Kristen Bird, Darren Morgan, and Monique Tubbs. We also wanted to just take a moment to acknowledge the devastation in Western North Carolina caused by Hurricane Helene before we get in, because we are all North Carolinians. We just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge what many of our friends and colleagues today have experienced, the devastating impacts. I want to say as well, SACAC sent a special statement in the immediate aftermath of Hurricane Helene, urging us all to think about how we can support those impacted. And so we just want to underscore that encouragement to stay flexible and focus on reducing barriers front of mind as we navigate this fall. And then a little bit later in our time together, we'll share more information about supporting relief efforts and some of the flexibility that we're seeing. So, just a note about who SACAC is. SACAC supports and engages collaborative network of enrollment and counseling professionals by promoting ethical responsibility, professional growth, access, advocacy, and outreach to help all students realize their post-secondary educational goals. And of course, SACAC is the regional affiliate of NACAC, National Association for College Admission Counseling, and you can see all of the states and territories included in SACAC. Um, Thanks, Allie. Here are all of the SACAC committees. We will hear from many of these committees today. And with that, we will go ahead and jump over to our first committee updates. The Advancement Committee. Our Advancement Committee chair is Julia Hodge. She's unable to be with us today, but she passed along some updates. So, Allie, if you'll jump to the next slide. Um, Julia wanted to share that the Advancement Committee, is beginning to secure sponsors for the next SACAC annual conference to be held in Atlanta, Georgia, March 30th through 31st, with pre-conference events occurring on Saturday, March 29th. The theme of the 2025 SACAC annual conference is Embrace the Moment, Inspire, Inform, Impact, and we could not provide the quality programming we're known for without the support of our partners. So the Advancement Committee encourages all potential sponsors to check out the sponsorship levels documents, see above, also linked on the SACAC website. Exhibitor registration will open in December, and any questions can be directed to Julia Hodge. Again, she's our advancement chair, and that email is advancement@sacac.org. All right, and with that, I'm going to call on Celeste Suris Roselli to share updates from the Communications Committee.
Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well today. It's exciting 8 days before November 1st for both sides. So Good luck to everyone as they get to the final push. The Communications Committee doesn't have a lot of significant updates right now, other than if you have not joined our LinkedIn page, we invite you to join and follow us there. We are posting a lot of the same resources that we're sending through the What's Coming Wednesday, thanks to Diana, as well as the Southern Scope. Dominic and I always count on your feedback and your ideas for anything that we can highlight in the Southern Scope or in future posts. And if you want to get involved and be part of the Communications Advisory Committee, you're more than welcome to write to either one of us at communications@sacac.org so we can tell you a little bit about what our committee does. We strive to be your voice throughout all of these events, and we always want your feedback throughout all of this. And yeah, those are our updates for today.
Perfect. Thank you, Celeste. We will jump over to the Governance and Nominating Committee, and we've got Zaire Lionel here to share updates.
Good morning, everyone. So exciting to see many of you. And on behalf of the Governance and Nominating Committee, as I'm sure all members of SACAC leadership, we certainly are with those heavily impacted by Hurricane Helene. And I also want to take a moment to say thank you to Allie and Meredith for your leadership on the North Carolina State SAI co-chair role. So for Governance and Nominating Committee, I have the privilege of serving this year as the chair with a group of amazing individuals. And what I want to encourage you to start thinking about now is who maybe on this call today, but also who do you have in mind who might be next and might be an exciting candidate for board service in addition to our annual SACAC awards. I know some of you may be thinking to yourself, maybe I'm too new, maybe I haven't done enough, maybe I don't know enough people. It really is, there's a lot of opportunity for all of you to consider being nominated by someone or submitting a self-nomination. So that is an opportunity as well. We will send formal call for nominations and award nominees as well in November. I'm looking for a deadline date in mid-January for collecting all of those nominations for board service. So again, for those of you who are here or maybe know someone who is unable to make it today, know that an opportunity to have board service or to be nominated for an award might be something that you could be excited about. And I hope that you will give every consideration to, if not nominate yourself, think about somebody else in our amazing community to nominate. That's all from us.
Perfect. Thank you, Zaire. All right, with that, we will jump over to the Government Relations Committee. So Heidi Wabel, over to you.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to join you guys here today. If you want to move to the next slide, Allie, we have a couple different updates. First and foremost, the Government Relations Committee, our goal is really to create awareness and education for SACAC members. We are a nonpartisan organization as a whole, and while we acknowledge that it is an election year and things are kind of chaotic out there, our hope is just to make sure that we can advocate for you and for your students as best possible. I am one of the co-chairs that is brand new this year. I am co-chairing it with Amy Robinette. We have both sides of the state pretty well represented. I am located outside of Charlotte and she is in Eastern North Carolina. So hopefully we can be partners with you this upcoming year. We recognize that Amy and I are both brand new to this role this year. So our first hope is to hear from you all as to what you know, what you want to know, how you might want to get engaged. So we are going to have a survey that will be emailed out to you guys within the next 24 hours or so. If you want to be awesome, there's a link to that QR code straight to the survey right now as well. We tried keeping it very, very brief and short. It should take you less than 5 minutes. But really, as we're brand new, we want to hear from you so we can best advocate for you in the future. A little save the date as well. On February 12th, 2025, we are hoping to have our legislative day. We are still very early in the process of organizing this. Basically, what it looks like is we go to Raleigh, the capital, and we're hoping to meet with legislators, be able to get updates, be able to advocate on behalf of our students, and make sure that they're aware as to what our top priorities are as educators. So if you are interested in attending that, please put it on your calendar now. We would love some support just in the planning learning or even what you might want to experience that day. So there is a question in the survey just about whether you're interested in learning more about that legislative day or not. But if we can be of any assistance, we'd love to hear from you, but thank you all for your support.
Perfect, Heidi. Thank you so much. And now I'll be giving, I'll be giving some updates on behalf of the Finance Committee. I got some great updates that were from Justine. She wasn't able to make it. She is at a CACRO fair now, so doing all of that great work. But so there on the next slide, there's going to be a lot more great information about the Counselor Participation Fund. And so this offers great financial assistance for the annual conference, the summer seminar, the Sweet Tea Tour, and also for Dry Run. And there's a preference for all of our counselors who are working with public high schools and with community-based organizations there. And so you're able to scan that. You're able to scan the code to get more information and fill out that application. And then there also is the Extend the Dream grant. And so these are grants that are typically anywhere from about $500 to about $3,700. And so let's say that you want to set up some kind of a college tour or workshops, or you need some calculators in order for students in order to be able to take the ACT and things like that. All of that is through the Extend the Dream grant. So I'll just pause there just in case anyone needs to scan, and there's information that is on the SACAC website as well. And so for the Counselor Participation Fund, for the annual conference, the applications are open now. The application deadline is coming up on December 3rd, and folks who apply, you will receive a notification by December 13th. And for all of the summer events such as the Sweet Tea Tour and Summer Seminar and Dry Run, that application is going to open in mid-February and it will close in mid-March. And then folks are going to hear back by the end of March. Okay, and now I'm going to pass things over to Alex Gonzalez to talk about member relations.
Hey, good morning, y'all. A warm hello from the Member Relations Committee, including Crystal Livingston and Brent Shropshire and myself, Alex Gonzalez. I think I just want to start by acknowledging how hectic this time of year is. And I think that there's a great deal of beauty in sort of pausing to acknowledge the scope and magnitude of our community and the great work that this organization is doing widely across our region. So if you want to go to the next slide, you'll see just kind of a general overview. We have 2,317 members that are working in service of our mission to advocate for student access and student success. So we really just want to thank you for being such an important part of our success, for the good work that you're doing, the hard work and dedication that you're putting into your craft in this particularly intense time of year, for sure. If there is someone in your professional circle that you think would benefit from being a part of SACAC that is not yet a member, we really urge you to reach out. Relationships matter. And so reaching out to your personal contacts and inviting them to be a part of this good work means a lot to us. As a reminder, we do offer a free access membership to those counselors that are working in public schools and CBOs. So we hope that cost isn't a barrier to involvement in terms of inviting colleagues in. And then I think really today, the only other thing that I wanted to provide info for is a kind of a special invitation to our special interest groups, which are a really core part of what member relations does. These are basically micro communities within this obviously much larger organization, excuse me, that kind of allow for networking opportunities and collaboration with members that have similar roles, similar interests. And you'll see we have a really robust list of SIGs, of special interest groups. And we are diving into our virtual meeting season in lead up for the in-person meetings that all of the SIGs will host at our conference in March. So if you haven't yet kind of joined one of these kind of micro communities or affinity spaces within the organization, we hope that you'll look into the opportunity. Be on the lookout for these virtual meetings that are coming up in the, excuse me, in the What's Coming Wednesday emails that are so comprehensive and wonderful in terms of capturing all the great things that are happening within the organization. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us at memberrelations@sacac.org. I look forward to seeing many of you guys at the conference, hopefully, and wish you all have a good morning.
Thank you, Alex. All right, next I will invite Malika Lindsay, who is going to talk about professional development.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Malika Lindsay. I am one of 3 professional development co-chairs, and I am also, just as an aside, admissions practices chair. If anyone has any admissions practices or issues or concerns, I'm the person you would reach out to, and you can find details about that on the website. But professional development is my mission this morning. And I'd like to just remind you of a few of our events and give you some updates about announcements for each thing that is on the next 2 slides. So we still offer a mentorship program, and it's at a moment where we're still figuring out how to make it work best for our constituencies this year. More information is at the QR code that's there. SACAC Leads is a really wonderful program. It's basically an incubator for future leaders in SACAC. And so I've served as faculty for SACAC Leads for its first 2 cycles, and am very proud of the work that we get to do, really encouraging oftentimes mid-level folks in our profession to step into more leadership roles and do more with the association. So if you have any interest in SACAC Leads or know someone on either side of the desk who would be interested, please reach out to them and let them know about SACAC Leads. Summer Seminar is our 4-day program for, I like the notion of new or nearly new professionals on the high school side of the process. Summer Seminar will be taking place in Nashville this summer, hosted by Belmont and Vanderbilt together. And there will be outstanding opportunities to travel and get to know other folks who are early in their careers in college counseling. And then Dry Run, which is, most of you already know, our 4-day program to help new admissions professionals get up to speed and become great professionals, will be taking place at Rollins College, hosted by the great Zaire Lionel, this coming summer. Again, more details are on the website, and information will be posted soon about both of those programs. Next. The Sweet Tea Tour this year will be, or next year, I should say, will hit Southern Florida, and details about that will be coming soon in the spring. Sweet Tea Tour is incredibly popular and fills up very quickly. So if you are interested in getting a good feel for a group of colleges in Florida, we strongly encourage you to keep your eyes open for the Sweet Tea Tour announcements. There's always a waiting list for that program. So we would love to accommodate you and get you into that program. And then last but not least is the annual conference. And I believe my colleague Corey Bailey is going to talk about annual conference next.
Great intro. Thank you so much. All right, I'm passing it off to Corey.
Thank you, Malika. I love a good segue. So, yeah, I'm Corey Bailey. I work at Mississippi State University in my day job, but as of this summer, I was announced as the conference chair-elect for the SACAC annual conference, and super excited to step into this role in the spring at our annual conference, which will be in Atlanta, Georgia. We're excited to go back there. I feel like in Raleigh, that was probably one of our largest. Well, I know it was one of our largest conferences, but it felt very much like we were back, after COVID and having some trial times there with the annual conference. But I feel as though Raleigh showed us that we are back, and I fully expect Atlanta to be even better and even bigger. So hopefully you are marking your calendar for that now, but we are going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, March 30th and 31st. The conference will be taking place there at the Marriott Marquis in Atlanta. It's downtown Atlanta. Wonderful, beautiful facility, very large facility. And so I think it's going to be fun for everyone there. One of the things that I have learned since stepping into this role is that our president-elect is the one who essentially picks the theme and picks the vision behind what the conference will look like. And so I think I saw Arlene on here. Arlene Outerbridge is our president-elect. And I will just say I felt inspired just from hearing how she came to the conclusion on how this year's conference would shape up. As you can see here, the theme is embrace the moment, inspire, inform, and impact. And her vision behind this, I do not want to steal away from her words on this, but from her point of view, and like many of us, we are faced in a time where it can be hard to embrace the moment. We have a lot of environmental factors, a lot of political climate things going on right now. We have students who are in distress for a lot of reasons as it relates to their transition from high school to college, and we were actually talking before this meeting of just trying to get through October. All of us have things going on, and a lot of times it can feel a little bit kind of trying of thinking how are we going to fill someone else's cup whenever we don't even know that our own cup is being filled right now. And there in some ways we may feel as though we have lost control. There's a lot of factors that we can't control, but what we can do is we can embrace the here and now. We can embrace the moment. We can embrace the circumstance that we've been given and recognize that we are here to serve our students. And we can do that in a lot of different ways. But one of the ways that Arlene is hoping to achieve that through this conference is to come and from the very beginning feel inspired to do the work that we've been blessed and called to do. You have to agree that we're not doing this to become millionaires. It doesn't matter what side of the desk you're on. We are not here to become millionaires. And so hopefully you will begin the conference experience feeling inspired to do the work. And then as you transition throughout the conference and you get to go to sessions, you are hopefully going to be informed with all sorts of information from our peers, our colleagues, from all sorts of all sides of the desk, with information to go out after the conference and impact your communities, impact your students. And I don't know about you, but that just gets me fired up for what could become of this conference. So I'm happy to inform you. This past Monday, we had the session proposal deadline, and thank you all so much for your patience and flexibility as we had to extend that deadline 2 different times. And we wanted to be very conscious and respectful of everybody's circumstance with both hurricanes that we faced during that time. And so even in spite of those problems, we still landed at 145 session proposals. So first of all, congratulations. I hope you all are giving yourself a virtual round of applause for that. The reality is that we only have room for about 70 to 75 sessions at the conference. So there will be some people who are turned down, unfortunately, but don't let that discourage you. If anyone is on the call right now and you submitted a session proposal and potentially in the future you're declined for that this time, don't let that discourage you. I know from my own personal experience with state and area initiatives, we are always looking for people to submit proposals to actually do our drive-in workshops with each state. And so there may be an opportunity for you to present in that way. And there are other ways within SACAC for you to get involved and do that presentation almost as a trial run, and then maybe get resubmit a proposal later on. And I know that Arlene is also going to do her best to look for trends, and potentially if there's a session that overlaps with another one, maybe connecting you all to collaborate, and that way we can still hear what you have to say about certain topics. But just wanted you to know that we're super excited about the number of sessions that came in, and that is definitely going to fuel this information and the informing side of things that we hope to achieve. Registration for the annual conference will go live in December. We're looking at hopefully early or mid-December for conference registration to go live. And it's a wonderful experience. The conference, I've been going since it was in Myrtle Beach back in 2014. And I know that some of the people on our call potentially have been going even longer than that. And so it's always a great time. In my world, I feel as though it is not only a time for professional development, but in a lot of ways, it is a family reunion as well. But if you potentially may not be able to go because you're worried about costs. You don't know that your school or your institution can support you in this mission and the opportunity. I hope that you'll lean into some of the information you've already heard this morning, specifically as it relates to the local public high school counselor experience scholarship. That is for high school counselors and CBO counselors who may be looking for grants or scholarships to attend the annual conference. And so just as a reminder, you saw it in the email that went out yesterday, that deadline is November the 11th. And so you could go to the website or access that email from yesterday to start that application. And any questions that you have about that, you can direct those to member relations. Again, you've already heard from them this morning. So very timely information there. The other way that you could get funding for the annual conference is through the Counselor Participation Fund. Again, we just talked about that as well. And that's another great way to reduce those costs. And so that is specifically for secondary counselors and college representatives. And that deadline is December 3rd. So it never hurts to go ahead and start that application. Just like we tell our students, go ahead and start the application now so that you don't forget about it. But that is another opportunity for you to find some funding. We are, if you were at NACAC or you listened online to our live cast of the annual conference meeting, or the membership meeting, I should say, you heard probably Arlene or Anita talk about that we are bringing back something for this year's conference. So prior to COVID, we were doing pre-conference sessions as compared to the post-conference sessions. And so we're going to try that again this year. We're looking at, for those people who may not want to participate in the college tours, which hopefully you all will want to do that as well. But if that doesn't relate to you and your role, you may want to get into town earlier in order to participate in some of the pre-conference sessions. And so if that is you, that would be a great opportunity. Between 1 and 4 o'clock is the time frame that we're looking for those sessions. Don't know what those sessions will be just yet, because Arlene and her team are diligently working to pick those sessions, but hopefully you will enjoy that if you're planning to get to Atlanta a little early this year. And then finally, I'll wrap up by just saying, we are excited about being in Atlanta this year, but we are also looking ahead. And so if you were also paying attention during NACAC, you probably heard that we have already picked our next destination. So the 2026 conference, the conference that I will officially step into the role of conference chair for will be an anniversary conference. We're super excited about the 60th anniversary of SACAC. So if you want to go ahead and save the date now, that's going to be March 22nd and 23rd of 2026. That may be the one and only thing you already have on the books for 2026. Who knows? But it will be in New Orleans. So we would love to see you all there if that is hopefully on your radar soon enough. So with that, I will turn things back to you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that's so exciting because actually my very first SACAC was New Orleans. So excited in order to go to Atlanta this year and New Orleans next. Perfect. All right, for our last update that is from the committees, I'm gonna pass it off to Lucy Smith, who's going to talk about inclusion, access, and success.
Wonderful, thank you. And I'm sorry I came in a little late. I came in probably halfway through Corey chatting about the conference because we had a seminar because it's October in college counseling, as many of y'all can relate to. So meeting with the seniors. But anywho, so with our committee, if we can go to the next slide, we have a few different initiatives, programming for our members as well as the families that we serve. So one opportunity to get involved is through our book club or discussion club. And it's kind of changed titles because last year we introduced some opportunities to discuss podcasts or TV episodes or articles in addition to a book. And so to expand our reach and the topics that we're discussing. So we have new leaders this year, so they are busy behind the scenes working on an exciting program for you all for this year. So stay tuned for those details. As soon as they are ready to go, we will put that out via email to our members. On the next slide, we've got information about our college admission workshops, which take place in two different formats. So we have a virtual format with topics spanning all different areas of the college search, selection, funding process, transition process, for those who are pursuing secondary or post-secondary education. So there are virtual workshops. You can see our website with topics that we've presented on the past. And we definitely welcome our members who would like to present. Please reach out to us so that you can be included in our list of panelists and get you set up with a topic that you are passionate about. And then our in-person workshops again, are very similar to the virtual ones where, we're trying to offer free help for those who do not have easy access to college counseling. So in person, we will offer a workshop in North Carolina. It will be in Charlotte. The date has not yet been determined, but Haley Cripps is our coordinator for that, our site coordinator. So if you want to learn more, if you'd like to volunteer to help out with that program, you can reach out to Haley. But it's a really amazing program, both virtually and in person, where we get to serve our students and families in our community by helping them learn more about the college search and selection process. And then on our last slide, to, I guess, piggyback off of what Corey was sharing about the conference, we also are tasked with hosting an outreach project, which is it's very similar to actually a college admission workshop. We try to help the families in the community where we are all congregating for this conference by offering some free college information. And so because we will be in Atlanta this spring, that is going to be the site for our outreach project. And Juan Acosta, who is my co-chair for this committee, he and I are already in the early planning stages for that. We actually just met this morning to talk about some details. So we will share information about that because, again, another place where members can volunteer to help, whether that's with registration or being a speaker for families or working an advising table, things like that. We love our volunteers for that. And then the last thing I'll say, I don't know if this has been said before, because again, I came in a little late, so I apologize. But Juan and I are both rolling off of the board this year. It's been an amazing almost 3 years that we've been on the board. And so I share that to say that not that you are applying for any one position on the board, but there will be opportunities to serve on the board. So if that's something that interests you, let any one of us board members know, because we'd love to share more about what the commitment means, and hopefully get more energetic and enthusiastic and able-bodied people to serve on this amazing committee.
Great. Thank you so much, Lucy. All right, we are going to jump into our state updates, and these will be very quick. So, Al, if you want to jump to the next slide, perfect. The first, just kind of North Carolina-centric state update is that the North Carolina Counselor Drive-In is date TBD, TBA, but we are seeking a North Carolina Drive-In workshop coordinator. So if you are interested in that, you can contact Darren Morgan, and he's one of our state initiatives co-chairs. Darren, I'm going to call on you. If you have anything you want to just jump in and say about the role, you are welcome to.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. I'm Darren Morgan. I'm one of the three state and area initiatives co-chairs. And first, I want to give a huge shout out to Meredith and Allie for planning this call. They stepped up graciously at the beginning of the school year to fill these roles, and they've been doing an amazing job. But for the drive-in workshop coordinator role, what it is essentially a professional development workshop coordinator. What we need is for someone to step into this volunteer role to bring everyone together in the state. This will be the culmination of government relations, state and area initiatives chair, and it is a truly impactful role, and one of the most impactful volunteer roles, I would say, as far as coordinating and bringing everyone together in the state. So if you are interested, please feel free to shoot me an email at stateinitiatives@sacac.org. If you haven't volunteered for SACAC before, it is a great way to get involved as well, because it is one of the first steps into just getting a chance to see how the program operates, meeting so many different members across your state, and branching out to meeting others. So if you are interested, please shoot me an email, and I would love to connect with you.
Thanks, Darren. Thanks for letting me call on you.
Anytime.
We also wanted to highlight the NACAC Spring Fair, the NACAC National Fairs. There's only one that will be in North Carolina. It will be in Charlotte on Saturday, March 22nd from noon to 3 p.m. at the Charlotte Convention Center. So for those of you with students, if you are interested in potentially bringing students, for those of you on the college side, if you're hoping to come and meet some of the wonderful students in this area and hopefully from beyond. Two other state updates that Allie and I wanted to be sure and highlight. One, just as we were thinking about developments in the state of North Carolina, is just acknowledging the UNC system minimum admission requirements update that's gone into effect for this year. Thanks, Allie. A change from last year. I just took a screenshot sourced from the website you see in the lower right-hand corner. The change is that this year students must have a minimum weighted GPA of 2.5 to be admissible to a UNC system school, and you can see the ongoing evolution of testing requirements, that this year testing is only needed for students within a certain GPA band, and that next year that will change. So just wanted to highlight that as we're all thinking about things from a North Carolina lens. And then Allie, if you'll jump back, the last thing we wanted to highlight in this section is just additional opportunities to support Western North Carolina after Hurricane Helene. We've linked here NCVOAD. This is essentially the North Carolina specific branch of the National Voluntary Organizations Active in Disaster website. This is one that's recommended by FEMA, and it was linked in the SACAC message that went out immediately after Helene. So folks who are continuing to look for ways to support our colleagues and our friends and our students in Western North Carolina, this is a great resource, and we encourage that ongoing support. Finally, just a quick note on membership. You can see annual fees, free access membership for those who qualify, and the timeline of when membership runs, and a link to information about membership. Sorry, go ahead, Allie.
No. Okay.
Just going to say our last slide is just a thank you. We wanted to offer breakout sessions here at the end of our time, but we want to, before anyone jumps or we shift into breakout sessions, we just wanted to, again, thank our state area initiatives chairs, all of our presenters, our committees, and all of you for being here with us today.
Hey, before we break out, we have a lot of board members on their call and volunteers, from Renee and Jenny to Zaire and Malika. But I wanted to give our president, Sean Kennedy, a chance just to introduce himself. So, Sean, if you're still on the call, would you mind hopping on?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks for the opportunity to say hello. Again, Sean Kennedy, current SACAC president and college counselor at Ravenscroft School in Raleigh, North Carolina. So happy to see a lot of North Carolinians joining the call. I hope you got a sense of all the fabulous things that people are doing right now. And reminding you, of course, that none of that happens without volunteers who find time and space in their lives to give a little bit more for the sake of others. Lucy mentioned the opportunities coming up with board service and the rest. That call for board nominations will go out probably middle of next month. And then with the timeline usually closing that call in mid-January. And remember, that call will include nominations for the next president-elect, board chair service, so the chairs that organize the individual committees as part of the board of directors, and also award nominations. So if you want to recognize someone for their work, that's part of what that call will entail. We're going to have more information, obviously, to share about that and give you opportunities to hear more about what board service means through some interactive, hopefully a webinar type format. But we also want to remind you that you can nominate someone for that, or you can self-nominate. And so we'll get into more details. But again, I'm hoping that some of you out there are thinking about that and will help be a part of the future of SACAC leadership. So again, thanks for the time to say hello and for organizing the meeting.
And thank you, Sean, for that. So a few other words before I let you guys break out into the breakout rooms. So a couple of plugs that I have to give out. So one, I got to give a huge shout out to the Dr. Corey Bailey. So one, he is taking over as the conference chair going forward. And just as a reminder, that conference is going to be March 30th and 31st in Atlanta, Georgia. Registration will open up in December. For members, it's only $300, and for non-members, $375. We understand that if you're working at public schools or CBOs, or if your school just don't have the money in a budget, we have a lot of different ways to help you out. Well, SACAC is one of those organizations where, and really in education as a whole, this is one of the fields where we serve a lot of people, right? We're working with students, families, and making sure that everyone is taken care of. So this is one of the ways that we want to take care of our members. And with the Council Participation Fund, that is the best way to do it. So that is a grant that you can apply for, and that will cover food, transportation, hotels, everything else that's needed to make sure that you're able to come. And we've thought everything out. So even if you want to go to the conference, not quite sure how to word it to your supervisor, we even have a letter if you need to plead your case to your boss. I just dropped that in the chat as well. So we really want you to come. We want to see that free access membership grow as well. I was doing the math a little bit earlier, and we have, 700 or so free access members. That's about a third of our membership. So let's get that up. And just keep in mind that membership is free for public schools and CBO counselors. So please go ahead and online, if you're not a member already, and sign up. And with nothing else, I want to thank Allie and Meredith again for putting this meeting together. They've been working really hard over the past couple of months for this. So thank you so much for all of your service and work for SACAC.
Thanks, Darren. Our next North Carolina State meeting will be at the SACAC conference in Atlanta. So we will look forward to hopefully seeing a lot of you in person there. And with that, we will transition into breakout groups for those who would like to participate. You can see kind of the general prompts. We're going to talk about what's been going well this year, what's been challenging, what we think our professional organization should focus on to support all of us better. So if you would like to participate in the breakout rooms or the breakout sessions, please stay on the call. Otherwise, this will conclude our fall virtual state meeting. And so if you are unable to stay for the breakouts, feel free to jump off now. We'll give folks a minute to make their decisions.
Let me figure out how to do the breakout.
Yeah. Give us a minute.
Easy. Breakout room button.
Okay, perfect.
All right. So for folks who are still on, I'm about to assign some of the breakout rooms.
Actually, Allie, as I'm thinking about this, we're down to only 16. We may be able to just take this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Like we're small. And that's what I expected. So, like I think we can just take a few minutes now for anyone to feel free to unmute themselves, and camera's totally optional, do what you want to do. But for us to just kind of open the floor for anyone to share like what's been going well, what's been challenging. We still got some SACAC leadership on the call. So, what's been going well for someone? Or maybe we want to start with a challenge.
I am happy to start. Well, so I'm in the grad school space now, but actually I probably can stop the recording, can I?
Yeah.
Let me do that. Let me do